Hey everybody, my name is Sonny, and this video is about what you see there. It'll be the first of a couple. I'll call this video 1. Um, where do I begin? Well, we'll start with the little guy over here. That little guy, that beast. It's a Blade Scout. I've been in flying for a while, but always loved it. And I wanted to get into helicopter flying. So that little baby right there. That took about 9 hours to figure out. 8, 9 hours. Then after that I got bored with it. It was okay, but got bored. So with that being said, I went to that. That is a Blade 120 SR. Obviously both my helicopters are Blades. I think they're a little overpriced, but I went into the fixed pitch. So I went into that little baby right there. I'm not going to get into details about channels and pitch. This is going to be for the more experienced people, who, by the way, I want to thank, because a lot of the stuff that I learned, I've learned from all the stuff that you guys put up there. So in a way, I'm kind of putting it forward. And then I got bored with this little guy, who at the time when I bought it, I thought it was pretty big. And then, so that took roughly, I'm going to say about 12 hours to learn how to fly. So all in all, with the flying time, you know, it was 12 minutes here, 8 minutes there, 5 minutes there, you know, and starting from basics. All right. Then I decided to, I didn't like the transmitter that I had, which was a stock piece of shit, and I went with this baby right here, DX6i. Sweet. Probably the best investment ever. I'm not going to get into that either, other than it's awesome. So that takes care of that. So definitely a great upgrade over there. Alright, real quick now. I got a real good deal on a friend of mine for this guy over here. Okay? This is an eRazor 450 3D. Obviously made in China. And the guy that gave me a deal had just gotten it. The funny thing about it, on the box it says great for beginners. I don't think so. Only because I know. So with this particular thing, I got a deal on it, and after inspecting it pretty closely, some of the plastic gears that come with this thing that only run about $4.95 a piece, they look kind of smashed or were defective to begin with, because the helicopter looked pretty mint to me. There's a new set of carbon fiber blades on there. There's a new set of blades on the back. But what I did is I took the whole thing apart. The only thing to this particular bird is the motor I left alone, and I didn't touch anything up here. I am going to replace the swash plate, the cage, everything's going to be metal. The tail obviously is back here. I'm going to get that into a metal tail. But right now it hasn't been fired up since I've had it, and that's about a month now. It hasn't even been spooled up, anything. So what I did is I went out, and the 3 servos that I purchased to replace the ones that came with it, these are HS65 MG. MG for Metal Gear. They're made by Hi-Tech, and it's a really, really extremely good servo. We're going to find out at some point. And the other servo that I decided to put on the tail, which is right there, is a also by Hi-Tech, and it is a 5084 Metal Gear, but it's a digital servo, which is what most people will probably highly recommend for your rudder, which is back here. But then you guys already know that. Now, so all the servos were done. motor left alone, everything was rewired, battery is original, and the only thing that I did is I replaced the gyro. I had a 110 on there and found out a G110, or was it a G100? Anyways, I replaced it with a G210. I believe that's a G210. Yep, that'd be a G210 right there. And then I decorated it up a little bit, and so with this video, and this is number 1, the next video that'll be up there, we'll call that number 2, is when I'm going to spool this thing up. She's not going anywhere. I was able to adjust the curve to get 25% throttle, and then a quarter stick, and then 50% throttle at half stick, and then I only took it up at full stick to 75% throttle. The pitch I kept below 50 because I don't want this thing going anywhere. I just want to make sure that she spools up fine. I want to make sure that the blades are tracking fine, which is what I'm going to do after I spool it up to find out what I have to do. So, and then of course you can see the training gear on here. I highly recommend that, unless you're really very good and you've had these before. This is my first one, so I'm gonna make the best of it. So with everything being replaced, the paddles are all in line. The paddles are right there. The blades I just put on, those are fine. All the linkage has been set up, and you can see they're all 90 degrees. Everything's ready to go. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. So I guess this video was I went from that to that to that. I think I'll stop here. And we're going to spool this baby up and see what happens. So thanks again for watching, and hopefully I'm back to do my second one and this thing doesn't decide to dice me up if I did everything correctly. Alright, well, this is what I got. You know what's done. Oh yeah, I also replaced the... I did replace it with an orange 9-channel and receiver, and they didn't have a 6-channel, and it's just a big bulky thing, and it's not labeled. It only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then of course you got to bind it. So I took that back and I paid a little bit extra money, but I decided to go with a 6-channel Spectrum receiver, which is right in there, and everything seems to be fine. So with all that being said, oh, and I left the ECS, the electronic speed control. I left that. I haven't heard any bad complaints about that, so I left everything. And I haven't touched any of the gears because, again, this thing is like mint, and he just didn't know what he was doing when he sold it. I could have bought a brand new one for what's in here. Anywho, we're going spooling, so I'll see you in the next video. Alright, later.